Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Legend of Korra. And now we're doing Chapter 6 of Book 1, and the winner is... Gee, I wonder what this episode is about. Okay, everybody, remember I was complaining at the end of the previous episode how the Probending subplot, not only is it confusing because of the vagueness of the rules, but it is also completely pointless for the overall story at large. Well, now we have an entire episode dedicated to it. Enjoy!
Yeah.
Brilliant.
For reference sake, folks.
I'm not even kidding, everybody. This is a 12-episode season. You can literally skip this episode, and you will miss nothing. I'm not even kidding. Go ahead, Jova.
For reference sake, let's also remember, as far as fans knew, this was gonna be all there was to the series. This was the mini-series that they put out for it.
Yeah.
And look, again. As we've seen, there have been some good or better episodes, like, well, I guess episode 4 has really been the best one. But the point being is, like, well, there does seem to be potential for a story.
There is.
Problem is that we're at the halfway point. I'll let you be the judge of how much they've actually worked with that potential and how much has been wasted.
Yeah, let's just start. Go ahead.
You know the drill. Start at the intro of Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, and 3, 2, 1, click.
Yeah, that's the thing. What story has there been so far? She does sports. She's the Avatar.
That's the thing, the show established a plot. The problem is that it's not moving it forward. Instead, as Shiroi said, it put it on pause. The problem is that they put it on pause, like Shiroi said, for Probending. Go ahead, Jovo.
Now we're remembering episode 4 happened.
Now we're bringing up episode 4.
If anything, this reinforces my theory that some of the episodes are out of order.
Tio.
Let's not get into that again. Let's not
incorporating this
Yeah.
to that phase.
God.
Yeah, I would like to say this. This show may have, well, so far there may be been these very bad negative moments, but the show has managed me to laugh equally so far.
I can agree with that. It still has had its funny moments. And okay. By the way, this music hour brought to you by the Cabbage Corps. That's right, Cabbage.
Of course.
That's right, Cabbage Guy actually had a descendant who now has a car company labeled the Cabbage Corps.
I wouldn't want somebody named after a vegetable.
Okay. Maybe
I'd
care more if you know.
Allow me to mention Quidditch because.
Wait, hold on.
Hang on.
I'm still evil, you know.
Hey, the non-bender revolution.
My name is.
Yay! Guys!
Yes!
Yes! Thank you, Amon! Thank you! Oh, wait, we're supposed to hate that. Oh no more.
So he's planning a terrorist attack at the final.
Okay.
Yeah, but now it's just announced to the whole world.
You see, Teo, what I am going to shamalize the entire world.
This guy is a freaking idiot. Oh yes, I'll announce my evil plan on public radio.
To be fair, Dweebs, actually, to be fair, sometimes there are menaces like this. Now we obviously will be the dilemma: do we negotiate with terrorists or not?
Okay.
Yes, you can't cancel the finals because what would become of us if we lost Probending?
Okay. My own grievance.
More like it's taking a stand in saying that you don't need to ban the guy.
My own grievances with Probending aside, again, the politics in this are actually an interesting case study. Like, do we want to bow to terrorists or whatnot? See, often when a terrorist gives a message like this, it's a challenge to the authority. It's kind of, the terrorists see it as a win-win. Hey, they don't back down? Well, we bombed them. Hey, they do back down? Hey, we've made them pretty much bow to us.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to decide. For as evil as he clearly is, I'm gonna have to side with Tarrlok on this one. I don't like the idea of putting innocent lives in danger just because of the game.
That's the thing. Tarrlok is actually not as much a scumbag here as he is in another episode.
I would say instead, find an alternate solution, like organizing secret the finals in another locations.
Well, okay,
There you go. For a few selective crowd.
Here's the thing, Tio. It's kind of a matter of whether or not they're bowing down to them. It's like, well, sure could. What?
What?
Hello.
Oh, hey, Lynn. You're a thing.
Hey, Lynn.
Okay, why do we need to listen to you? The chief of police, Dweebs.
It's been a while. All that crap with
She showed up like 1 or 2 episodes max ago. Come on.
I guess I can well, okay, to Dwybs' credit, the
She'll
show...
have a bigger role in later seasons.
For better for us. Okay, to Dwybs' credit, it has been a while since we've actually seen Lynn in focus. Sure, we saw a poster of her, but if you weren't focusing on her, chances were you might forget, which is a bit odd, seeing as how she's the daughter of top flipping Bei Fong.
Whatever.
So let me guess. I can't hear it very well because I have to have the phone on subtitles. But I'm guessing that she says, "Don't worry, we'll throw every security measure in place to ensure that they get
That's this is a weird gambit, and I can see already where Mr. Gaston is going for.
Oh, but now Tarrlok's mentioning this, though. A wager. Basically, if her security force fails, then, well, she won't look good as the chief of police. And let's not forget, Lynn's one of the...
Why are we gambling with civilian...
You'd be surprised, Wibs. Politics can be rather cutthroat, sadly.
I don't see this going well.
Oh, okay,
Not
now...
at all.
Okay, now to Lin Bei Fong's credit, she did mention how their armor will...
Well, actually, Tenzin agrees with you, so hold on.
Yeah.
Little accidents. Yeah, she doesn't care.
Hi, bye.
Wait
To her,
for
she's
it.
just doing her job, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame we never actually see that backstory, but
Who knows? Maybe we might see it in the next series.
Oh
the
boy, here we go. Hold on.
The biography of thing.
Were you listening, Dwibs?
Well, again, I can't really hear. I have to have the volume on so the audio doesn't bleed through.
Shiroi, since you're the one who usually points this out, I might.
Oh my God, Korra said it herself. Pema stole Tenzin from Beifong. Now, okay, I get we're not supposed to assume that's how it was, but remember how I mentioned how in episode 5 how the advice Pema gave Korra was terrible? Yeah, kind of goes to show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Shiroi, considering the incredibly screwed up relationships that this show and the unnecessary amount of relationships the show has, does this come? This is starting to come across as Avatar fan fiction.
Hey, wait. Well, hey, let's think about it. Mako and Korra being shipped because, of course, everyone wanted Zutara, but that didn't make sense, so let's give them a firebender and a waterbender.
Wait a minute.
No, I'm on.
Everything going according to plan.
Of course it is.
This guy has spies all across the city. There's probably going to be a good few in the audience at the game.
I just realised something.
Yes, Dwybs?
What?
Yes, Dibs?
Show that a piece of fiction that forgoes the plots and action in order for unnecessary focus on character relationships and not even being done all that well. This is the half-blood prince of Avatar.
Okay, to its credit, I don't really like the relationship, but that doesn't take too much focus away. And I will give it this, Tenzin and Lin Beifong's ex-relationship is an interesting case study. Again, it doesn't help, though, that it kind of suggests that Pema kind of ruined their relationship, because as far as we know, Tenzin and Beifong were pretty keen as a couple, but Pema decided, she's not right for him, and confessed her feelings, and I'm sure that didn't eschew anything. Again,
Jova, the Julia Roberts syndrome. Me.
By the way, if I could answer Pedro's question, Avatar had a lot of different types of relationships. I think the only reason it feels like there's too much here is because this was supposed to be one season. So they're kind of shoving in everything that would have been more spread out into a 12-episode miniseries.
That's a good point.
Now,
whether they're done well or not is up for debate, but that's why I think what happened anyway.
Okay.
Hold on, Joe. I had something to say because, okay. For the record of addressing the Probending thing, one last time. How nice. Korra fangirl. Anyway, for the sake of addressing the Probending issue.
That's right, Sami and Mako are in love.
comparing this to Quidditch for a bit, because that's basically what this is trying to be, the Quidditch equivalent.
Didn't we
Okay.
already mention that in like the first episode?
True, but I wanted to make a case for it
All right.
because the reason Quidditch works fine in Harry Potter is because yes, it's a sport that doesn't technically have nothing to do with the actual main plot of involving a villain and shit like that. However, it's actually used for character development and even foreshadowing certain elements of the plot. There's actually something going on during the Quidditch matches in Harry Potter.
That and Quidditch is actually fun to
What
watch.
the fuck?
Wolf bats.
It's a team of furries.
Of course.
Brilliant.
Furries ruin everything.
Whereas in Probending, like she herself said, the plot just pauses for this thing, and that's bad. This is a cancer that needs to be dropped.
Now, you could argue that technically it does tie into the main plot with this episode, and only really with this episode, but I want you folks to remember, we wasted about 3.5 episodes on Probending. What exactly... Okay, does it feel like we've actually accomplished anything with Probending,
Not really.
plot-wise? Like, honest question on you guys' opinions with Probending.
Not for me.
Unless they somehow bring it into the main plot, then no.
Well, they are technically doing right now.
Well,
I kind of already.
Oh,
the-
that's a good point, actually.
I think
For the
by
end of the
main plot,
championship,
you already
though.
meant like the actual
True,
original
but I
focus of the
suppose
season.
I guess the idea behind it is having an escalation of it instead of just going full Goblet of Fire and then saying, "Oh, they just did that thing off screen, and here's how they got here."
I wish.
Also, you could argue that Korra's learning better control of her
that's
bending
cheating.
this way.
Keep also in mind, a couple of the matches are also skipped over in just like 1 or 2 minutes in order to showcase the fracturing relationship between the three when the triangle strikes.
Okay, that was funny. Basically, though,
Basically, Tenzin's starting to get into Probending.
cheating.
Also, Tenzin's getting into the game.
Oh,
I just said.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
I love how even the announcer is pointing out that the ref has clearly been paid off. And yet, no one's doing anything about this.
yeah, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure the first set is win by these three. Yeah.
Can you imagine how that would work? Okay, Mr. Referee, I want to pay you a certain amount of money
Oh,
so
wait.
you can favor the other team. Can you do that? And the guy were like, okay, but could you explain to me what I'm supposed to do in order to get that team to win? Because I don't know.
Ooh. Wait, you can hit from the back?
Oh my god.
I guess.
Dwebs, I just realized
That face.
Oh god, that face.
This is the answer, Dwebs. This is how we're going to defeat corruption in sports. Just make the rules impossible to figure out. There you go.
Well, Pedro, there are some rules in football that are like that, so.
But not all of them, though.
Although, okay,
I did say some.
I should probably go to a point, though. Sure, I did raise a good point. Okay, maybe we could argue that Probending is being used to enhance Korra's training. That would actually be a good idea for potential and something that would give Probending a reason. Here's the problem. This is where Probending, like Pedro mentioned, comes to a halt in this, and pretty much after that, Korra's training becomes moot. And speaking of which, when was the last time we even mentioned airbending training?
Matrix.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't this series part of the series called Air.
Now,
Yeah,
I know what some...
It's book one. It's book one Air, yes.
Now, I know what some people are going to say. Well, technically, in books 1 and 2, Aang didn't spend the entire...
There you go.
Oh god, yeah.
I love these guys' faces.
Yeah.
He's intentionally made so that you can laugh at him and hate him and laugh at how he'll be defeated.
Wait,
I
now
love
we're
his
having
goofy
now we're
expressions,
having
though.
a-
Remember, Dweebs, it was
One-on-one.
like it was 1 or 2 episodes ago too. Come on.
It reminds me of the old NHL games on
Wait,
PC.
what?
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 I have...
Oh,
What
and
was that?
hang on, I think it reminds me of them old NHL games on PC where you play a regular match, but then all of a sudden it transitions to
What was that?
to 2 players fighting, and it becomes like
Well,
Tekken for some reason.
What was that sequence where time rewinded for a second?
I have no
I don't
idea.
know. Well, remember, like when we get into that platformy thingy, it becomes a sumo match apparently. So
I know, right?
Ooh.
Why is this episode taking NHL?
Me getting along with people.
She's a tsundere. It's okay. Give her time.
My mother taught me well.
Yeah, probably. Lord knows she gets some things from her mother.
By the way, is Toph still around at
Zing,
this
boom,
point?
bash,
We'll
boom.
see about that. Let's just say
Well,
some are dead,
We
some
know
are alive.
Katara is, but
Oh, by the
Is
way,
that-
a little bit of...
is that against the rules or is that within the rules? I don't
well, it's
Yeah.
behind their backs, so...
Basically, it's... I guess we're to a... Oh, there we go.
Okay. Question.
Again, like I said,
Jensen
even the
has never
announce...
seen a pro-betting match up until this point. So how does he know it was an illegal shot?
To be fair, he gave the throwaway line that he's been brushing up on it.
I guess.
Also, you must have heard the radio a fair few times.
Okay. Now, as you recall earlier,
Oh,
Lynn said that the
no.
armor of a metalbender would protect them from a chi blocker.
there's the terrorist threats.
But-
Notice that glove. Remember that glove for later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just... Oh,
It's
yeah.
so bad.
Infinity gauntlets.
No, and I wish to.
It's so
this-
powerful.
Webs, you mean?
Ooh.
well, so much for the armor blocking it.
Turns out they have something new now to help deal with the...
Electric gloves.
Yep, gotta help deal with that power creep. Okay, this is the part where I bring up an issue I have with the metal bending police. Okay, conveniently, every person in this season who's a metal bender is conveniently a cop. Now, you're thinking, okay, metal armor may make sense, but in the long run, no, it doesn't make sense. Like, let's think about it.
No.
Okay, let's think about it. Let's assume that somebody who's a bad guy is a metal bender. They could easily crush you if you're wearing the metallic armor. If you go up against a firebender, eventually your skin is
Well-
going to get scorched on the other side. Oh wait, this bit's actually cool.
To be fair, Jova, what else can they do in terms of armor?
Hello.
Oh, hi.
I want my mummy.
I think
Wait.
you're stuck in the Silver Age, mate.
Well, kudos to the guy for not abandoning his post.
Like I
Anyway,
said,
now
to be-
he's dead.
Like I said, to be fair, Jova, what else can they really do in terms of armor?
well, maybe not wear armor.
Okay, I actually have a question about Amon.
Go ahead.
Why the mask? We know that it's a little who, so there's not a twist about what his face looks like, so
It's because
why
he,
the mystery of the mask?
because he was burned in the face
Of
by the
course.
firebender who killed his father.
Remind me
yo.
the year again of when this was released.
2012.
2012.
Right on the tide of The Dark Knight Rises. It makes perfect sense now.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask.
And even then, it's not like many cared.
Don't you
So-
see, Teo? When Republic City is in ashes, Korra
So-
has not permission to die.
Yeah, I mean, well, Joby, even after he's put on the mask, it doesn't seem like that many more people cared anyway.
Oh,
You're going to be shamalized. I know,
And
but
there you
it's just
go.
too easy joke. I know, but it's just too easy.
That's a bit disappointing.
yeah.
The fact
Yeah.
that Korra doesn't defeat him, but he has to be Amon. who does
Yeah,
it.
that is nice. However, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of Probending for this season.
Yay.
Yay!
Can we at least keep the commentator because he's
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Now remember,
perfect.
Sheila, every episode starts with the recap by him anyway.
That's right. I should probably make a correction. The announcer guy is actually voiced by Jeff Bennett.
Of course, Jeff Bennett, the master narrator. Remember, he's also the narrator from Jim and
Yeah,
the
that's
Barbarian.
why it sounded familiar. That's where the lemony comes from, then.
Hmm
Yeah.
He's actually the. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've learned over the years that Jeff Bennett is a master at narration and just being an announcer in general.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar, so that makes. So now what,
Now
Wait,
Amon
those-
gives a
wait,
speech.
those men's?
men?
Okay, the subtitles that I have are crap then. They said men's.
I'm a good guy, by the way.
It's like he's doing this because of what somebody did to him and his father, but that's No.
I'm gonna remind you.
Shiroi, if I can't be happy, no one can.
Okay, let me remind you. This guy is supposed to be the leader of an Equalist revolution, something that is supposedly helping a bout of oppressed people. Now, in
The
his
solution is to oppress the
Ooh.
benders.
yeah,
Panda Bear to the rescue.
like
But
okay,
Shiroi, the solution to get rid of bender oppression is to oppress the benders back. Don't you
like,
see?
dude, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but even Adolf Hitler knew that before he went about oppressing people, he had to play the card of being the actual oppressed citizen, not actively making the threats. Amon is going at this way, way, way too soon. Again, you want to get
I'm not an
people on
expert
your
on the Hitler situation, so I'll refrain from commenting on that.
well, okay. A better comparison again goes to the 1920s and basically the revolutions and whatnot. When blacks were fighting for equal rights. Now, imagine if Dr. Martin Luther King threatened the entire U.S. government. I'm sure people would have rallied behind him now, wouldn't they? No, they wouldn't have.
Oh, they also have a hot air balloon.
In fact,
That's cool, I guess.
In fact, you know what? For comparison's sake, Martin Luther King was a peaceful protester, and he got arrested on several accounts. What Amon's doing is, Amon's being as violent as possible.
And the thing is, like, even...
Although it should be noted, well, as far as I'm concerned right now, if I recall correctly, he hasn't killed actually anyone yet.
Well, I guess we can assume he didn't...
And the explosion.
No. What I mean, Jova, is that his former terrorist is actually a pure one, in a sense that he really needs just to instillate terror instead of just mindlessly kill people.
Okay,
True,
Tio.
But what
That's
he's
not really
doing
much
right now
better.
to the arena has
Well,
the
I'm not saying that he's a
potential
good
to
guy as
kill
a result.
Okay, Tio, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but I'm just gonna say this right now. What he's doing is worse than death, morally. Like, no question about it. You'll
Well,
see...
I can imagine. It's like reducing a person to a vegetable state.
Oh, Tio, it's more than just that.
And for some reason...
We'll get to it. Oh, good job, Lynn.
Wait, she was waterbending, but for some reason it stopped.
Also, how
Yeah,
convenient.
run out
The
of
people who
water.
still have their bending are the people who matter.
Hey, too. Having some Advent Children flashbacks right now. Well, that watching through Korra up, it reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna go back again to my complaints about the metalbender's armor. Like, okay, the one thing the armor does that's good is that it blocks out chi blocking. But other than that, it makes it so that they're more conductible to lightning, and let me remind you, more people can lightning bend. So just zap the cop and you're free to go. You can burn them, and a metalbender could crush them, so... what good does the metal armor actually do?
They need to have benders of all types in, like,
I think the problem is
emergency
that
services and everything. So
I think it's just one of those things, Jova, where they need to have some kind of armor, and there's not really any material that's not bendable that they can use.
But
that
here's
would
the
be
question:
effective.
why? Hold on. Why do they need armor though?
That would hardly be protective too.
Okay. Again,
Well, against chip blocking and the electric batons, and since we're equalists, they do not need to use firebending, so that makes sense.
well,
I
Tio,
guess, but
but yeah, but that's exactly my point. The only thing that the armor does is block out chi blockers, and again, as far as they knew, chi blockers only really started popping up with this non-bender revolution. Like, otherwise, it's more a detriment than anything. Now, like Pedro said, maybe if we saw people who aren't metal benders on the police force, and I guess we technically get that, but in a later season. But as far as we know, all the police are metal benders, conveniently. So, yeah. I mean, it looks cool, but when you think about it, it doesn't have that much a productive resource. And I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but this is a sequel to Avatar, the show
SpongeBob,
that...
this is not the right time.
Oh,
I know
God.
it's a meme, but god damn it.
Oh, even you're familiar with the meme of SpongeBob laughing at
Yes.
Korra's suffering. But, yeah. Anyway, look, I know that the whole me talking about the metal armor sounds like a nitpick, but this is a sequel to Avatar, the show that went into such great lengths and details. You were rewarded with the more details you noticed that made sense. Again, when I find this many flaws with the armor, I have to wonder, does this really make sense in the long run?
the explanation, Jova, is that Aaron has and the other writers aren't here. It's just Brian and Mike.
Oh yeah, you kind of played into his hands. Great job, Amon! You have now brought war on non-benders.
Again, my problem with his approach is that, okay, so basically benders are oppressing us non-benders. So what we're going to do is we're going to oppress benders in return, because that will prove that we're the good guys in this situation.
I mean,
They say they're equalists just to get people on their side.
And
That's the only reason they're saying that that's what they're about.
Now let's do a tally. We're halfway through the show. How much of benders actually oppressing non-benders have we seen in the show to facilitate these actions? None. It's kind of bad when you're halfway into this point and the supposed neutral party, though they're really villains at this point, kind of come off as, well, prats who are oppressing the benders more so.
And here's the thing, like, I was trying to say this earlier, but like, even if later on we find out that these people have been oppressed in, you know, current time in terms of the show at some point later on, I'm still not going to accept it, because it should have been one of the first things we see when Korra gets to the city, like some sign of when you're doing. It's not like it's nothing like a liar revealed thing. It's like with this kind of story, the like the problem needs to be shown first, not last.
It's the basic rule: show, don't tell. And I can't get over how baffled I was that these writers failed at that when they did so remarkably in the first show, even the ones that they did right.
You know, Alpha, his name is a bit hard to pronounce. The guy who did the analysis on season 2 on YouTube, he brought up a good point. Why is this series, unlike the original, so afraid of flashbacks? Because remember, a lot of times, every time we needed to explain the backstory or, you know, get some insight into a specific character, especially with Zuko. Remember, we had entire episodes dedicated to flashbacks of Zuko's past. We would actually go into flashbacks that would give us incredible insight into that person, like Zuko, for example. Why?
Because they only had half the episodes.
Thank you, Dibs. That's exactly the answer. They don't have the time, I guess, but at the same time, okay, if you have, I guess the solution would be, if you only have 12 episodes, choose a simpler plot. Because you're trying to do so many stuff at once. Probending, the equalizing shit,
the romance,
the romance, the airbending training. You need to scale it down. When you realize that you were going to have only 12 episodes, that's when you should, okay, we need to skim this down to only 2 plots max. We can't have too much going on.
And here's an idea. How about you focus on what the title of the season is supposed to be?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I know what some people may say. Well, technically, Aang didn't spend the entirety of each book learning the elements. Well, see, here's the thing. Even when he wasn't spending time learning to them, the seasons themselves tied into each of the themes, like the water bending. Of course, he spent most time in the South and North Pole. Book 2, Earth, was spent mainly in the Earth Kingdom and had a good enough about him actually getting in tune with the Earth Kingdom. And Book 3, Fire, well, we all know how that heated things up. Whereas with here, it just feels like it's an obligatory, hey, we originally wanted to have a Book 4 called Air, so here's a book about air. Like, they don't even do stuff tied into the theme of airbending. Heck, Book 3 of Legend of Korra is arguably more of an air season than this.
And that's sad, really.
And again, sure, he did bring up a good idea. Maybe they could have actually committed to using probending as Korra's way of learning airbending. Well, oops, probending's gone, and Korra didn't really learn much about airbending from that, now did she?
That's the thing, Shirai. Remember, probending only uses fire bending, earth bending, and water bending. It doesn't use air bending. So the probending doesn't actually contribute to her airbending training at all.
It only contributed conveniently in episode 2, which kind of feels all the more like an excuse just to let her do the probending in hindsight.
Yeah, maybe airbending is not allowed, but again, I don't know.
Well, of course airbending's not allowed because there's not many airbenders, but okay. What are your guys' thoughts on this episode since we're at the halfway point? Turning point.
It's not completely bad for me, but it has that glaring contradiction. And the lack of proper satisfaction. The episode is built as if Korra also from the previous one, that Korra will defeat the bully guy, the waterbender bully. But instead, Hamon literally hijacks the plot. I mean, I was expecting him to do still, but later, after the victory, maybe the moment Korra was trying to get the prize cup, that's usually the moment like this when people strike. I guess The thing is, he went a bit before. And again, the fact that the oppression supposedly requires more context, which I'm fearing, from what I can understand, instead will be used for later to try to sympathize, but it will be like applying like a simple band-aid on a broken leg. So
I'm gonna
we'll
let
see
you
that.
wait and see.
Yeah.
The show's-
I'm
the show's
just
just
testing the
getting
episode.
boring.
However, like I have to say also, like, well, some stuff for the previous episode. When the episodes are making me laugh, or like they're not bad, they're not as bad as I thought we could have been. But the problem is, those few selective moments, like Korra with the kiss, or now this, really do put the weight on top of this series. Right now, since we're also halfway through, I have mixed feelings, but still on a more positive outlook. But it's getting tested. I will say this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just getting boring.
Yeah, go ahead, Whips.
No, that's just it. The show so far, the show's just really freaking boring.
Allow me to remind you, Dwebs, for as bad as The Great Divide was, it
That was
wasn't
like one
boring.
episode.
Not just that, Dwebs, even taking into account, it wasn't boring at least.
I mean, no wonder I don't think I saw this anywhere in Nickelodeon UK.
I mean, okay,
Anyway,
so
go ahead.
Dwibs, any insight on why you find it boring? You know, just to give a bit more to it.
There's no plot. There's no plot here. It's just a random mishmash of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff's gotten lost. I can't tell what's the main plot. I can't tell what's the B plot.
So what you're saying, Dwebs, allow me to help you. Lack of focus. That's the big problem here. Lack of focus. This show cannot decide what the hell it should focus
Yeah,
on.
and for something with so few episodes, you'd think they'd have picked one thing and stuck with it, but no.
Exactly.
Either the mandates from Nickelodeon were really testing the creators' patience and or will, or they just lost the plot.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. It's like, well, okay, Avatar, the original show, had the benefit of basically having one big plot. Stop a war. That gave us plenty of room to have all these other miniature adventures that help with the character development. Legend of Korra goes for more, hey, we've got this straightforward plot that we need pretty much every episode to dedicate towards every single bit going on, which means we have our end goal destination in mind, but every episode has to directly tie into one another. Directly tie into one another. So you'd think that would be a straightforward shot. But no, they have all these different plots going on.
Well, whatever. We're repeating the same
Shiroi?
stuff at this point. Lack of focus. Shiroi, anything into that?
Not really. I mean,
All
so
right, in that
far,
case,
the only really positive thing is that this series has got quite a few laughs out of me, but at this point, like Tio said, I'm just kind of starting to get annoyed at this point.
I cannot.
That's it.
I cannot stress enough how painful it felt to have such doubts in Avatar at this point. But
I won't. No, allow me to remind my history of the series real quick. I saw the 2010 movie by Shyamalan as my first exposure to this franchise, and and my reaction was, "There's no way the cartoon is this bad, because this looks like it could be really cool in the hands of good writers." So I went to see the series, and just like everybody else, I fell in love with it. So when this show was about to come out, I was excited. I was hyped as crap. Me and my friends were all excited. And trust me, I went into this thing with the brightest of positive of outlooks. I was absolutely sure that I was going to love this, and I was actually trying to fool myself into liking this thing.
me too.
But by the time we got to something like episode 5 and 6, I really started to, you know what? This is just not very good. Anyway, we're dragging this out. See you for the next episode, everybody.
Mhm.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.